Well, you see, this is what we all talk about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. When we keep talking about the things you do in the past and how that turns around and end up hurting you in real life. You see, most people don't understand that. They don't understand that the things you do ends up coming back to bite you in the butt. I'm serious. Y'all might think it's a joke. It's not a joke. The things you do in the past can harm your future. Now, all of this talk was brought up again and brought to everyone else's attention about, oh, they need to go ahead and do the Breakfast Club. Something they was talking about that y'all sent me, talking about, why don't they just do a reunion show or something like that, or a Murder Inc. reunion with Irv Gotti? And I'm like, Irv Gotti? Why they need to do that with Irv Gotti? That don't make any sense. And I'm like, that's weird. Because, sorry about that. Because when you go down that route, when you start saying Murder Inc. reunion, he knows he ain't cool with everybody. He ain't cool with everybody. He ain't cool with Cadillac Ty. He ain't cool with a lot of these dudes that was in Murder Inc. He know that. Him and Ja got a good relationship. But they can't do the reunion because Ashanti would have to get on board. And he would have to patch things up with Ashanti. And you probably say, Ashanti? What? Why would him and Ashanti have words? Like, what was that all about? And, like, I mean, it's quite simple. I thought I've spoken on it plenty of times before, but let's take a look at it. You know, Ashanti, how she got in the game. When she came along, she was basically Ja Rubin was already blowing up, and she was the background singer. She had the thing, and she was singing, helping J Lo out. And while they were coming up, Irv just started, partying, getting more confident because they blowing up, and they start messing around, him and Ashanti, and rather than make that information public, he kept that, a secret because of his household. Then that became a bit of some fights between the wife and everything else. And then there was more women coming around, now Superhead writing a book and all this stuff. So this destroying Irv's whole livelihood. But all of it, through all of this, they were still cool. Once she started dating Nelly, problems between Irv and her started to, hit the forefront. Because now she's dating Nelly, you feel a certain way. Because now you don't have it at your access. And when you don't have it at your access, You see, it's like a guy that used to have an ex-girlfriend and she got a new man. Even though you ain't really with it no more, you always feel like I could go back and hit that. Now she got this other man, that's gonna complicate my going back and hitting it. So now you feel a certain way about it when she really, you shouldn't have been messing with her in the first place. You got a wife, you know. So now everyone is like feeling a certain way about the situation, as far as the business. And now when things starting to fall for Murder Inc., like the business is not doing what it used to do, and people are not, who they say they are, and the feds are rushing in and all this stuff. He felt Ashanti kind of deserted us and wasn't loyal to the family. And then, before all that, they asked Irv, J-Lo asked Irv, say some nice things about me. An interview's coming up, and he said all kind of wild stuff about her, going through one of his moments, one of his Irv moments. And she never spoke to Irv again. So J-Lo's not talking to him. So he can't even do the I'm Real song. So now you got Ashanti's cool with J-Lo and Ja. Her and Ja are doing this show right now. Like they touring and doing shows as Ja Rule and Ashanti. So they don't have to go under the name Murder Inc. Now, as he first started Murder IMP, I would have never ever called ourselves Murder. That's gonna one thing when you say Murder IMC or Murder Inc. and all that. That's gonna eliminate a lot of possibilities just because of the first word murder. That's gonna knock you out of a lot of markets, So that's when they reincorporated themselves and called themselves the Inc. And it was because they wanted to remove the murder off of it, like titling your album "The Murderers." You were gonna go ghetto gold. You're not gonna make any money. Diddy tried to tell you this. Diddy tried to tell you this was a recipe for disaster. It's only gonna run for so long. You can't call yourself Murder Inc. It's murder. You can't. You don't want kids running around saying it's murder. And that's what Diddy was trying to tell you. Now, back to this, the situation. Now, Ashanti was listening to Irv talk about how he wasn't loyal and said, yeah, me and Ashanti had a relationship. He was just going way out of his bag, and that pissed her off. That he brought up the fact that they messed around to make her look bad. That, yeah, I used to mess around with Ashanti, and him going on radio confirming that and saying she wasn't loyal. And like, and I'm like, yeah, go over there and hang out with what's his name? Go ask, what's his name to put your album out or whatever. Go ask Nelly. Why don't you go over there and record with them? So he was all bitter about the situation. And she was in a catch 22. And Ashanti could have been asked for a release and got out of her contract because when the feds came, that messed her career up. Because she couldn't really move. She was transitioning more into movies at that time anyway. And she was doing the John Tucker Must Die movie. And when she was doing the John Tucker Must Die movie, Sorry, people are emailing me at the same time this is happening. She did the John Tucker Must Die film. Irv trial was going on, and she took off, and they didn't want anybody leaving Canada. Don't leave the country, while they were filming, because there could be anything can go wrong, and you can't get back in the country or anything else, and then they're stuck. So she told them she had to leave. It was nothing that she could do. So she pissed off the producers of the film, ruining her whole movie career by coming back to the United States to go to your trial. She was there for your trial to show support. She was there. And then you go on radio and you dog her like this and act like she wasn't down. So it hurt her, and she lost a lot of opportunities when she was at the height of her career being loyal to you. So he got a lot to account for. He's got a lot to account for. He's got a lot to apologize about, you know. And that's where he's at right now. Now, her and Ja never had a problem. Never had a problem. And because, they never really had a problem, this is a situation where, they stuck in the middle. Now, Irv don't mind them doing the show. He don't mind. He can't tell. Even if he did mind, he can't tell Ja not to do a song with Ashanti. He can't tell her not to work with her. But that was the main problem. You did all of that on radio and dogged her out when she was loyal to you. And you never really sat down and apologized because you want to do something behind the scenes instead of into, face to face with somebody. And because of it, and because you was that slimy and wormy, nobody's really dealing with you. It's just he got to mend a lot of fences. He's got to mend it with J-Lo, and he got to mend it with Ashanti. They could move on without Ty and Black Child if they really wanted to. He could probably get them back. But J-Lo getting her back in the fold and getting back Ashanti, that's going to take a little bit more work. So, I'm out. And don't forget, donate to the Cash App or we're going on strike. Hit the link in the description box. Hit the Streamlab up. I'm going to be checking. Seeing who hitting the Cash App up or the Streamlab. The strike is in motion.